So the island to the my friends, if you look at the very first mountain there.
Denis Villeneuve has a grasp on character-driven narratives, small in scope or large in scope. Thanks to the genius of Frank Herbert, here's a story that's on that scale, but with characters and relationships and stories that are dense, you know, and felt. These were the things that made me want to act.
Action. Guess I'm not in the mood today.
Mood? What does mood have to do with it? Now fight!
Part of what makes Dune so great, it's an incredible cast of characters and an incredible cast of actors.
It's very easy to get lost into the concepts, into the scale. But at the end of the day, it's very powerful and complex story.
There is no call we do not answer. There is no faith that we betray.
Dune is the story of the Atreides family that falls into the trap set by the Emperor, who is getting more and more jealous of their growing popularity.
House Atreides stands as a beacon where every other house in that galaxy is in reference to that, either as enemies or as friends.
Hold.
What intrigued me about Leto Atreides is the tragic nature of the character. He wants to not only make sure that his people survive, but that his son is the kind of leader that he thinks he should be.
Paul Atreides is the son of Duke Leto and Lady Jessica, and he's the future of House Atreides. He's a young man who's facing extraordinary circumstance, trying to navigate it with integrity within the tradition of House Atreides.
Fremen make these?
Sand compactors and all kinds of ingenious things.
What the hell is a sand compactor?
That's a sand compactor.
My God, man, you've gone native.
Gurney Halleck and Duncan Idaho are close allies of Duke Leto. Did feel like big brothers. You know, they rib him, especially Jason.
He's the protector of the Atreides. I mean, he's definitely the head knight who watches over the family.
Sarkar!
I mean, that's his sworn duty. I mean, I think that's what any honorable knight soldier does.
Duncan, no!
I mean, that's his family. That's who he bleeds for.
Gurney Halleck is a combat trainer. He's a warrior. He's a poet warrior.
And he is distrustful of all of it, because he is by nature distrustful, like every security guy you ever see who's looking at things that aren't there.
Your permission, sire, I must check the integrity of your suit.
Oh. He's a very strict but fun, visceral, paternal, maternal. He's all of those things to Paul.
You have to be ready. Paul has all these teachers, and everyone has poured all that they know into this young man.
Tafir Hawat!
Tafir Hawat is a human computer, and I wanted to go away from the cliche of the very cold human being.
He had lived and worked with this family for so long that he had really come to have a dear affection for them.
Your mother asked me to check your vitals. Dr. Yue is a trusted member of the family. He has served for the Atreides family for a long time. It's a complex and heartbreaking role for an actor to play.
If anything happens, will you protect our son?
With my life.
I'm not asking his mother, I'm asking the Bene Gesserit.
Lady Jessica is part of the Order of the Bene Gesserit. This order that she's a part of, we can say, would make her perhaps the non-traditional partner to Duke Leto.
The congregation that influence politics from the shadows, that have access to all the leaders, that are counselors and spies for all the leaders in the world.
Come here, kneel. This group of women who carries enormous strength and powers, they are bodyguards, they are fighters, they can read people.
I hold at your neck the Gom Jabbar.
One of the strengths that Jessica has is that she's been taught by the Reverend Mother.
The Reverend Mother is interested in Paul because there's a prophecy that a member of the Order of the Bene Gesserit will one day give birth to the One, for lack of a better description. And Paul could perhaps be that person.
You're lucky he didn't die in that room.
Jessica is having to deal with being a mother, a lover, and this Bene Gesserit. And she always has to question which priority comes first.
She has her own ambition. It's a very complex, powerful character.
How can the Emperor take everything we've built and give it to that Duke?
Every movie needs its bad guys, and the Harkonnens are the old ancestral enemies of the Atreides.
The Harkonnen are a family that have controlled the spice for many generations.
Frank Herbert created a very powerful character into Baron Vladimir Harkonnen.
He just shows up and then his shadow looms throughout the film. He's the cause of many people's death.
Rabban is the nephew of the Baron, and he is a very sadistic and mean. Not the smartest guy. Rabban really wants to please his uncle, and the Baron looks at Rabban as more of a pawn, and he doesn't really feel much for him.
Piter de Vries is the mentat of the Harkonnen family. He's been twisted by the Baron Harkonnen. He's kind of strung Piter out, and Piter is so devoted to this cause of retaining the Harkonnen control of the spice.
So squeeze, Rabbit. Squeeze hard.
Yes, Uncle. And the vermin.
Kill them all.
The Fremen are native tribes. People living in the deep desert. They had the capacity to adapt to the toughest environment. Deep heat, massive sandstorm, dangerous predators all around.
Stilgar is the leader of the Fremen. He is a powerful character. He's a warrior, but also is a warrior. He worries about the future.
Take good care of your family. Dr. Kynes, on the surface, was seemingly just somebody who's an ecologist, someone who cares about the Fremen, but then you start to understand how much pressure she is actually under just to keep everything contained and controlled.
Who are you to the Fremen?
Paul is dreaming about this strange young woman that keeps talking to him in his dreams. She feels like an old friend again, and someone that wants to guide him.
Don't be frightened. Even a little desert mouse can survive.
Shani is native to Arrakis. She's used to this hostility between her people and the people that are trying to take from her land. She's a fighter at the end of the day. When she does meet Paul, her guard is up. She looks at this person as like, this is a child.
But there's clearly something else. There's a glimmer of something between them.
I don't believe you're the Lisan al-Gaib, but I want you to die with honor.
It's indescribable what that feeling would be of a proximity of physical attraction in dream form that comes with a terrible purpose. It comes with a very intense actualization. So I think Shani represents all those things to him.
And it seems that he truly cares about the people, and there's a deeper humanity within him.
They're on a path of conflict, and it's the moral catalyst to Paul's arc towards something greater. Desert power.
This is only the beginning.